Good afternoon, I'm Laura Skryzypczyk.
And I'm Michelle Stewart.
A student forum was held Monday night.
And News Central takes a look at this year's Oscar nominations.
Serving the Mount Pleasant community and Central Michigan University. With Michelle Stewart, Laura Skryzypczyk, Mark Moses with weather, and Sal Giaco with sports. This is News Central.
In Beverly Hills, California today, nominations for the 64th Annual Oscar Awards were announced. News Central talked to BCA professor Kenneth Giaco to get his opinions on the nominees.
For the Oscars have been chosen, and one surprise is the nomination of Beauty and the Beast for Best Film. News Central was curious about whether or not this had a chance, so we asked our very own Dr. Giaco what he thought.
Well, judging from the competition, it probably doesn't. There's some pretty serious, heavy-going kinds of films. Pictures like Prince of Tides, which deals with personal trauma and psychological anxieties, and then JFK about the biggest, murder mystery in 20th century American history. And then we got, Beauty and the Beast. So it probably doesn't have much of a chance. So I'd probably say JFK or Prince of Tides is going to win.
Even though Dr. Giaco feels strongly towards Cape Fear and Silence of the Lambs, many are still cheering for Beauty and the Beast. I'm Letty Longoria, reporting for News Central.
Speak Your Mind, a student forum was held Monday night. Western weekend tuition increases, racism, and Chippewa too. These were some of the topics discussed at Monday night's student forum in the University Center. News Central's Jeff Freeland attended, and here are some of the details.
Students from CMU had the opportunity Monday night to make their voices heard. The Student Advisory Council sponsored a forum in the University Ballroom in which open discussion on such topics as racism, tuition increases, and the Chippewa logo was encouraged. The biggest issue seemed to be Western Weekend and the proposed set of rules set forth by the task force. On hand were about 70 students to voice their opinions.
We have no pride in our school, and it is because of the relationship between the students and the administration. It has to be better. But I think that the suggestions are just, I will not be babysat, and I don't know if CMU thinks that by giving these suggestions, people are going to go, oh, let's go to CMU now, we have a babysitter.
I don't think that this will cut down on the amount of people coming to Central for Western Weekend, because they'll still come, they just won't have any place to stay, and there'll be drunk people wandering the streets or driving.
That's obviously a shot at fraternities and sororities. I really don't understand where that came from. I'm not sure I see the reasoning behind this, and because if you look at the Greek organization during Western Weekend, I feel it helped out, it didn't hurt, but it's an obvious shot. I don't understand how they can enforce it.
Another concern at the forum was the pending increase in tuition. News Central spoke with President Leonard Plachta about the increase and asked him exactly where the money was coming from.
We will be considering a larger tuition increase than we thought we would have. I do hope that we can keep it within a reasonable single digit, but I have to tell you that a number of state universities are thinking in terms of double-digit increases, and I think all presidents are aware that this is a lot, and it has been a lot over a long period of time as well. So it's a cold fact or reality that either you get the money from the state or you get it from the student.
The forum has given students a chance to address representatives from several campus organizations on issues they felt deserved some attention and possible action. Also on hand to listen to the student concerns were CMU's top administrators. Reporting for News Central, I'm Jeff Freeland.
The University of Michigan Medical Center is experimenting with genetic engineering to treat high cholesterol levels. The hospital says it will begin experiments with gene therapy within the next 2 months. The patient, who has not yet been chosen, will be a teenager or a young adult with unusually high cholesterol levels. Through a multi-step procedure, the patient will receive a gene allowing the liver to rid the body of cholesterol. Dr. James Wilson and others developing the procedure say it can also be used to treat AIDS and cancer. Gas prices all around the United States are seeing an increase, and in the Mount Pleasant area, gas prices are anywhere from 1 to 5 cents higher than larger cities. Shelley Bartelink has a story.
Prices is nothing new here in Mount Pleasant. The prices are going up, up, and up. The price of gasoline at the pump is rising, snapping a 12-week slide. Keith Solder, Amoco manager, responded to the gas increase.
Price has gone up at our cost for the past week, a penny at about 3 cents. And we haven't been able to move because the market hasn't moved. Now the market, they have sold out the gas that they bought a week ago, and so now they're going to have to replenish their market, their supply.
The American Automobile Association says the nationwide average for gasoline is a little over $1. In Mount Pleasant, the cheapest gas at a self-serve station is around 99 cents.
Used to be, I think Clark used to set it in this town pretty much, but I think Myers probably does as good a job of setting the price as anybody.
You may not have noticed that gas prices have gone up in Mount Pleasant. If you're planning on going on spring break, who knows? You may have to rethink your budget. I'm Shelley Bartelink, reporting for News Central.
In the past 2 evenings, we've seen how the Mount Pleasant residents and university community are helping to recycle. Tonight, in the final segment of our past series, News Central's Carolyn Wiley has more on the recycling efforts of local businesses.
While many Mount Pleasant residents and local college students help to recycle, local businesses play a key role in reducing the amount of garbage in the city. Over 100 businesses help to recycle, which is about 60% participation. Downtown businesses use bins like these to store corrugated cardboard. The material is collected by Mid-Michigan Industries 3 days a week. These downtown business people explain the advantages of recycling.
Much easier because really someone else is doing it for us. We don't have the hassle of it. Somebody comes and picks it up and takes care of it.
It costs us less, let's put it that way, to recycle, because if we were just throwing it away, we'd be paying a lot more for our trash collection.
While businesses provide a large portion of material sent to recycling centers, Isabella County Recycling Coordinator Randy Smith says more could participate.
We know of a lot of businesses that still aren't participating, and we're still trying to get online. We're kind of in a catch zone right now, such that our facilities that we're in are too small for the amount of material we're really handling right now. We're bulging at the seams. So.
Lack of space is perhaps the biggest obstacle for local stores participating in recycling. However, the majority of businesses in the area do see a need to reduce garbage. Carolyn Wiley, News Central.
If you'd like to receive more information on recycling the Mount Pleasant community, call the recycling lines at 773-9631. And a Saginaw Area Ford dealer is among the first in the country to use a system to track pesky intermittent car troubles. Ford will use a diagnostic system that allows mechanics to monitor the car or truck while the owner drives it during normal and daily activities. The device acts like the black box on an airplane, making records of every system. A dealer says that this may put an end to the complaint that your car stops acting up as soon as you take it to the shop. And up next in world news, we'll have some chaos in the southeast.
And the FBI investigates new allegations in Mike Tyson's rape trial. When News Central continues.
She has a lot. She has a mother who loves her and a roof over her head. But tar paper walls don't keep out the night chill. She doesn't have enough to eat, sometimes little more than tortillas. She doesn't have the books and supplies she needs to stay in school. And education is her key to a better life. Anna and others like her need someone to help. Could you help? For over 25 years, Children Incorporated has been matching children like Anna with sponsors like you. Your tax-deductible donation of only $21 each month will help provide food, clothes, medical care, and education. You'll receive a picture of the child you're helping and opportunity for personal contact. Please don't wait. Imagine how your help will make Anna or a child like her feel. You can give hope. Write or call Children Incorporated, 1-800-538-5381. That's Children Incorporated, 1-800-538-5381.
When your employees train with the National Guard and Reserve, they learn to be better team players, better decision makers, and better leaders. It's training that makes them better at serving our country. And better when they come back to work for you.
Bill's back.
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
The FBI is reportedly looking into allegations that a church organization tried to intervene in Mike Tyson's rape trial. WTHR-TV in Indianapolis says the probe deals with a claim that the National Baptist Convention, USA, tried to pressure the woman into dropping the charges or changing her story. Sources quoted in the report say the investigation centers on Tyson's ties with the organization, which has approximately 7 million members. The convention's president hasn't been available for comment. Tyson was found guilty last week of raping a beauty pageant contestant last July. He could get up to 60 years in prison at a sentencing trial set for March 27th. But based on sentencing patterns, he's not apt to be sentenced for more than 12 years behind bars. After his less than impressive victory in New Hampshire, President Bush heads to Tennessee, one of the so-called Super Tuesday states. 11 states hold primaries March 10th, and Tennessee is in a key region, the South. President Bush's Super Tuesday campaign promises to be more vigorous than his New Hampshire efforts, especially after yesterday's Republican primary, only won by an uncomfortably narrow margin. President Bush received 58% of the vote, while 40% went to conservative columnist Patrick Buchanan. Meanwhile, Democratic primary winner Paul Tsongas says his once cash-strapped campaign is now rolling in the money. Maine is the next testing ground for all candidates. A Bush spokesman said the campaign in Maine is being taken very seriously, especially considering the state's weak economy. Economists didn't get any surprises from the Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan today when he appeared before Congress. Greenspan presented the Federal Reserve's forecast of how the economy will perform in upcoming 1992, as well as targets for growth in the nation's money supply. The assessment of the U.S. economy for next year comes the day after the Federal Reserve freed up an additional $8 million for banks and their lenders.
Thousands of villagers are fleeing from their homes in southern Lebanon. Another round of Israeli attacks have escalated in response to rockets launched by Shiite guerrillas. Israel's Army Command says its jets have attacked bases of the Shiite Muslim Hezbollah militia in South Lebanon. Both Israeli and guerrilla forces have been clashing for 3 straight days. A new airstrike has been reported. The Israeli raid targeted a Hezbollah base. A military statement says the target was hit and all planes returned safely. A Middle Eastern violence first began when an Israeli helicopter raid killed Sheikh Abu Muzawa. Lebanon's defense minister says some 11,000 troops on the Israeli front have been ordered to confront Israeli troops if they advance north of a security zone. Israeli and Shiite troops have stepped up their attacks. 13 people have already been injured. And former Irish Republican Army member Joseph Doherty is on his way to Great Britain. Doherty has been recently removed from a U.S. federal prison and deported to Great Britain. Joseph Doherty escaped from a Northern Ireland prison after being charged in the killing of a British Army captain. Since he has tried in absence and sentenced to life in prison. Federal law enforcement agency confirms Doherty's departure to Britain. And the search for possible POWs and MIAs continues in Russia. The State Department says Russia is showing willingness to help the United States learn more about the POWs who may have gone to Soviet labor camps after World War II. Despite their efforts, the archives of the Soviet KGB have not been helpful. The agency's examination of closed files shows no new information on Soviet involvement with American troops. They found up to 20,000 soldiers held in German prison camps, and they were sent to Soviet labor camps after they were captured by advancing Red Army troops. Up next, Mark Moses has the weather.
Another storm front headed our way for the weekend. I'll have details and much more coming up next. How'd it look?
In August 1942, 13 African Americans arrived on schedule at Moffett Point, North Carolina, to begin Marine Corps recruit training. One recruit, Edgar R. Huff, eventually the senior sergeant major of the Marine Corps, expressed the feelings of a lot of those first men when he said, "I wanted to be a Marine because I had always heard that the Marine Corps was the toughest going. And so I wanted to be a member of the best organization." They proved that they could wear the Marine uniform with honor, that they could persevere in the face of adversity. Serving their country, they could turn to their family and friends and say, "I am somebody, and I have done something." During the month of February, the United States Marine Corps salutes the contributions of African Americans to its proud and distinguished history. A history that will be remembered for that elite corps of men and women who made it, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Weapons used in the world in the last 40 years, none had more power than this one.
Now here's a few reasons why you should watch All Kidding Aside. All Kidding Aside, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 p.m. on Moore Hall, Channel 34.
Currently, the temperature is 35 degrees, the barometer is 29.78 and falling, the humidity is 92%, and the dew point is 33 degrees. The wind is out of the north at light at 5 miles per hour, and the sun sets today at 6:14. Take a look at current conditions around the nation. We can see that this front affecting over into the east coast is now bringing rain up and down along the coast, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, up into New York. This brought severe weather up into the lower Mississippi Valley, down and through Kentucky and Tennessee, and out in Ohio, bringing scattered showers, severe showers, and hail, and a lot of trees were blown down. But what we're watching right now is this frontal system, which will be dropping in through our area for later on during the night, and which will bring mostly snow up into the northern peninsula, while it will bring rain down into the south. But by tomorrow, this will all change, and we'll be bringing us snow throughout the whole state. Once Friday comes, this high-pressure system will move in, pushing this out up into the west coast, bringing us partly cloudy skies for Friday, but that won't last for long because this system that's up in the Seattle area, which is dumping a lot of rain on them now, a couple inches as a matter of fact, this will be moving in our area and bringing us a lot of rain and maybe a mixed bag of precipitation for the rest of the weekend. But as we look at current conditions around the state, we can see it is mostly cloudy throughout this area. Again, I say this front is in here. It will be moving down later on. It is 25 up in Marquette, and it is snowing up there. 34 in Sault Ste. Marie, and also snow up in this area around in here. The warm spot down in Detroit at 42 degrees, And the cold spot is still being up in Marquette at 25. It's cloudy along most of the state and foggy down in Kalamazoo and Battle Creek area. As we look at current conditions for tonight, we can see it will be mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of snow and a low of around 30. The wind will still be light, but it will be changing out of the north. As we look into tomorrow, it will be continued mostly cloudy. A slim chance of snow, which will bring it on, but it's still better watch out because the roads might become a little slick, and a high of 36. On into Friday, partly cloudy, high of 34, low of 25. And Saturday, as another storm system moves in, it'll be a high of 27 and a low of 24. But believe it or not, we've got just about 1 month until spring, so hopefully we can get the clouds out of here and get warmer temperatures in.
Good. Finally the sunshine will get here.
Finally it will, and I hope it does. I'm getting a little sick of the clouds.
Great. Sal's next with sports.
The Pistons take the magic out of Orlando as Dennis Rodman puts in another stellar performance. Details ahead in sports.
Salisbury, Maryland, the hungry are being fed. In Wind Falls, Indiana, a man who learned to read at 47 is making sure others learn earlier. In Hope, New Mexico, people turned an abandoned school into a thriving community center. In Boston, Massachusetts, neighbors set up a crime hotline that's making their streets safer. From Seattle to Galveston, from Buffalo to Fargo, every day, someone in America is doing something to light up another life. But there is so much more to do. The light to do it is within us all. We only need to share it. Contact the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Honey, it's Mom. Please let me in. I'm worried.
Learn to see the signs of mental illness. 2 out of 3 people who get help get better. For a free booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
We made it! Hey, I couldn't have gotten through physics without you.
Yeah, well, you're on your own at college.
It's not fair.
That's all right. I'm gonna get a job, you know, I'm gonna start working, I'm gonna save, and I'll be in college in another year or 2.
Right. So, what do you have planned, Mike?
I think I'm gonna go home and make a sandwich. Okay.
Support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
The Central Michigan men's basketball team will try to make it 3 in a row tonight when they host Kent State at Rose Arena. The Chippewas are on a little hot streak after 2 consecutive wins over Eastern Michigan and Toledo. Kent State, meanwhile, is in the midst of a 6-game losing skid. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. In the NBA last night, the Detroit Pistons are coming off that big win in Philly on Sunday, took on the Orlando Magic at the Palace. The Magic not exactly a threat to the Pistons. They're 0-10 lifetime, make that 0-11. The Pistons beat him again, 117-95 at the Palace. Welcome to the Dennis Rodman Show. The worm all over the boards, the tap-in, and he would have many of these tonight, including this putback on the miss. Not once, but twice. Yeah, Dennis had 27 rebounds to go along with his 18 points. Is there anyone in the league who works harder? Watch him on this play. He out-hustles 2 Orlando players and then calmly takes it back out and then pumps the 3. Yes! Matty Gukas can't believe what's going on. Isaiah would also help the cause on this nifty move and lay-in. And then on the fast break, Rodman starts it and then fills the lane and finishes it with a dunk. Isaiah with a few more scrappy playground moves. The drive and the lefty scoop, no good. But he gets his own rebound and puts in the reverse. The Pistons win their second in a row. On the NBA scoreboard, the Trailblazers were led by all-star Clyde Drexler, who had 28. The Bucks shot 73% from the field in the third period to outscore the Cavs by 9, and they never looked back. Johnny Dawkins made a left-handed runner with 1.21 seconds to break a tie. And the Knicks were led by Patrick Ewing, who had 34, and Mark Jackson, who had 20 points and 15 assists. The U.S. Olympic hockey team is getting a well-deserved rest after advancing to the semifinals with a 4-1 victory over France yesterday. They will face perhaps their toughest match Friday when they'll take on the unified team. They advanced earlier today with a 6-1 impressive win over Finland. But hey, let's face it, the U.S. team hasn't lost yet at 5-0-1. The only blemish was a tie against the Swedes on Monday. They're tough, and they got all the confidence behind them.
Played Sweden in an exhibition game, back before this, and I remember going into the game, we're thinking there's no way we're going to ever be able to keep up with these guys. We were making jokes about it. Now, any team we play, we think we could beat them.
U.S. defenseman Greg Brown may return to the lineup for Friday's game. Brown suffered a broken nose and a concussion on this crushing check by Swedes Matt Naslund on Monday. CAT scan showed up negative. His return would definitely be a bonus for the team. Another NHL note, the Red Wings were looking to beef up their scoring punch. Rumors had a possible trade in the making for Philadelphia winger Rick Tocchet. That's not going to happen, though. Tocchet and 6 other players were involved in a three-team deal trade yesterday. Tocchet goes to Pittsburgh, and former Penguin Paul Coffey will be reunited with Wayne Gretzky as they play for the Los Angeles Kings. Believe it or not, spring training is just 2 days away. Tiger pitchers and catchers will report on Friday to sunny Lakeland, Florida. A couple of other teams making some big deals for some big bucks. Atlanta Braves avoided arbitration with their lefty ace Tom Gladden. Yesterday, he signed a 1-year deal for nearly $3 million, making him the highest paid player in the team. 25-year-old Glavin put up some impressive numbers in '91. He was 20-11 with a 2.55 earned run average and the National League Cy Young Award winner. His new contract quadruples last year's salary. And in New York, the Mets keep shelling out the green. They went to arbitration with pitcher David Cone and lost big. The right-hander led the National League in strikeouts but could only muster a mediocre 14-14 record. Listen to these numbers. Cone will earn $4.25 million in the 1992 season alone, making him the highest paid player in arbitration history. Unbelievable bucks for such mediocre stats. And talk about big bucks, the New York Mets have 22 players on this year's roster. Their total salaries will amount to $44 million.
Oh, it's quite a price tag for a ball team, huh?
Yeah, the players are getting some astronomical amounts of money, and unbelievable.
Well, evidently someone thinks they're worth it.
Yeah, some of them are.
Well, thanks, Sal.
Sure.
Laura?
Ted Turner hopes his new Cartoon Network will be a laughing matter. Turner starts the All Cartoon Network in October. The Cartoon Network will broadcast 24 hours a day. Turner bought the Hanna-Barbera Cartoon Network in his library last year, which includes the Flintstones and the Jeffersons. This will be the Network King's 5th major cable network.
Ted Turner just doesn't quit, does he?
I guess not. And he's been quite successful.
Mm-hmm.
This should be successful. TNT and CNN is successful. So.
Oh, yeah. And the Fox network, too. That's all run by his corporation, too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, rolling in the dough and working hard. He's just, why can't it be me? I think that's what we think.
Someday.
What
What
an idea. He comes out with this all-news program, and now he's on the top of the world making millions.
Yeah, he'll be a success again.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us. Good night from all of us here at News Central.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive, but say it, because if you